Imagine a man who carried the weight of honor like a badge, yet harbored a quiet resentment that burned for decades. This is the story of a Hollywood legend, a stoic cowboy whose life was shaped by duty, dignity, and a deep-seated clash with another titan of the silver screen. Born in the rolling hills of Virginia in 1898, he grew up in a sprawling Southern family where values like discipline and integrity weren't just words, they were a way of life. His parents, a respected businessman and a refined matriarch, instilled in him a quiet confidence that would later define his presence both on and off the screen. As a boy in North Carolina, he learned the power of restraint, the strength in silence. Private schools sharpened his mind, and he set his sights on a steady path in business or engineering, following his father's footsteps. But fate had other plans. World War I called him to serve as an artillery officer in France, where he faced the chaos of battle and returned home with a fire to live life on his own terms. In the 1920s, a trip to California changed everything. The budding film industry caught his eye, and with his tall frame, chiseled features, and Southern charm, he was impossible to ignore. Hollywood beckoned, and he answered. His early days in the industry were humble extra roles, stunt work, anything to get a foot in the door. He wasn't chasing fame, he was chasing purpose. By the late 1920s, his persistence paid off. The arrival of talkies showcased his deep, commanding voice, and soon he was a rising star. The 1930s and 1940s saw him conquer genres from comedy to drama. But it was the Western that carved his name into legend. With films that painted him as the ultimate frontier hero, stoic, honorable, unyielding, he became a symbol of grit and grace. His characters weren't just tough, they carried a moral weight, a code that mirrored the man himself. Unlike many in Hollywood, he shunned the spotlight's excesses. No scandals, no wild nights. He was a craftsman, not a showman, pouring his soul into roles that spoke of quiet strength. In the 1950s, his work with a visionary director produced westerns that still echo as masterpieces, stories of men haunted by their pasts but anchored by an unshakable sense of right and wrong. His final role, in a 1962 film, showed him as an aging lawman wrestling with a changing world, a poignant reflection of his own graceful exit from Hollywood. He retired not broken, but whole, choosing to leave on his own terms. Off-screen, his life was just as deliberate. He built a fortune through smart investments in real estate, yet stayed grounded, tethered to family and faith. His first marriage, in 1936, was to a woman of immense prestige, tied to one of America's wealthiest dynasties. She was no ordinary heiress, a fierce equestrian who turned a historic Virginia estate into a world-class horse-breeding haven. Their union glittered with promise, but their worlds were too far apart. He was a rising star in Hollywood. She was rooted in East Coast tradition. By 1939, their marriage ended quietly. No children, no bitterness. Curiously, she kept his name until her death decades later, a lingering nod to their shared past. If this story of a man balancing fame and principle resonates with you, please share it to keep his legacy alive. It's a tale of conviction in a world that often forgets what it means to stand firm. After years as a bachelor, he found true contentment in 1944 with a young actress who traded the screen for a life by his side. Their marriage was a haven, far from Hollywood's glare. They adopted 2 children's daughter, and Sanan built a home filled with warmth and stability. Friends marveled at his tenderness as a father, a stark contrast to the rugged heroes he played. For over 4 decades, their bond held strong, a quiet triumph in an industry known for broken vows. They split their time between a Beverly Hills home and a ranch where he could ride horses and breathe the open air, living the life his screen characters only dreamed of. But beneath this serene life lay a shadow, a deep, unspoken tension with another Western icon. The 2 men were giants of the genre, both embodying rugged masculinity, yet they couldn't have been more different. Where our hero was reserved, deliberate, and introspective, his rival was loud, brash, a larger-than-life showman. "I didn't care for him," he once said, his voice low but firm. "He stood for everything I couldn't admire." Their clash wasn't just professional, it was personal, rooted in opposing values and visions of what it meant to be a man, a cowboy, a star dot. Their differences simmered in Hollywood's. Our hero saw acting as a craft, each role a chance to explore the gray areas of morality. His rival, a performer who leaned into spectacle, whose heroism felt more like myth than truth. He sold the West. Our hero once remarked, "I tried to understand it." Their paths crossed rarely, but when they did, the air crackled with tension. Mutual friends, other leading men of the arena to tread carefully, avoiding one's name in the other's presence. The studios, sensing a rivalry, fueled the comparison, pitting their box office numbers against each other. But to our hero, it was never about competition. "We weren't playing the same game," he said. The rift deepened over personal slights. His rival once mocked him, calling him too polished to be a true cowboy. The jab stung, and he never forgot it. Authenticity isn't about shouting, he later reflected. It's about being. Worse still was the hypocrisy he sensed. His rival built a career playing war heroes, yet had sidestepped service in World War II, a choice that grated on our hero, who held soldiers in deep respect. "I didn't judge those who stayed home," he said, "but I couldn't stomach those who pretended to be something they weren't." His disdain was private, shared only in rare, candid moments late in life. He respected his rival's success, but never the man died as the years passed. Their paths diverged. Our hero's films carried a quiet depth, while his rivals leaned on bold, patriotic flair. Ironically, their differences enriched the Western genre, offering fans 2 sides of heroism, one introspective, one explosive. Yet in his heart, our hero felt no warmth, only a cold distance. "He's the last man I'd share a trail with," he once said, his words carrying the weight of finality. When he passed in 1987 at 89, surrounded by family in Beverly Hills, he left behind a legacy of integrity. His wife, his partner of 43 years, joined him in eternal rest years later. Their story, like his films, was one of quiet strengths, of a man who lived by his principles in a world that often tested them. His papers, letters, photos, memories are preserved in a university archive, a testament to a life well. So, if his journey inspires you, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this story. Let's keep the spirit of a true cowboy alive, a man who rode tall, not for fame, but for what he believed was right.